Hey guys, welcome back to Crawl TV. I'm Jarrett, and on this episode, I'm going to tell you why Grace and I upgraded our radio from a CB to a dual band VHF-UHF rugged radio system. Let's get started. So to explain why we upgraded this radio, first I have to tell you what our limitations were. We were heading out on Trail to SEMA 2017 and we had a CB radio. It's the same Cobra 75WX ST that we installed about 2 years ago right here on this channel. The problem with that radio is that CB radios are limited to a 4-watt output, and they're really more or less line of sight radios, so you can communicate about 4 miles with them and they're kind of finicky. So, with a CB radio, once you have all of your good grounds, then you have to adjust your antenna to get a perfect SWR range. And then as soon as you hook up with somebody on a channel that nobody else is using, because you only get 40 channels to choose from, you have to adjust your squelch to make sure that the radio transmission isn't super fuzzy. Now, that's great if you're at an off-road park somewhere and you're just wheeling locally with your friends and all of your friends have CB radios. One of the great things about CB radios is that they're pretty cheap. You can get one for like 40 bucks at Walmart, I think. But they're very limited in what they're capable of. It's old technology. CB radios have been around for quite a while, and most of them are kind of bulky and in the way. The rugged radios, RM25R-WP that we installed, is not a civilian band radio. It's a commercial band radio. It operates on very high and ultra high frequency megahertz ranges, and the wavelengths are different, the power output is different, the clarity is different, and the distance is a big difference. So it's a 25-watt radio, which is the 25 in the name of it. And this thing operates on basically the same wavelengths that a normal aircraft would. Grace and I know this from being in the Air Force, and some of you guys out there know this as well. Very high and ultra high frequencies are a lot different than HF frequencies, and basically the higher you get in the frequency, the closer the wavelength gets. Now your range comes from the very high frequency, which will get you up to 15 miles if you're in open desert or caravanning down the road. We use this radio as dual band, so you get VHF on top and bottom, or VHF on top and UHF on bottom, and you can flip through the 40 preset channels on a rugged radio system, or you can tune in your own 200 channels, and you can save all 200 of them. So quite a big difference in memory and capability there. Additionally, this radio is Ip67 rated. And what the hell does that mean, you're wondering? It means that this thing is submergible up to 3 feet for up to 30 minutes and it won't go bad. So as long as you don't roll your Jeep underwater like Grace and I did with our last Jeep, you can't get this thing wet enough to damage it really. I mean, you could throw it in a UTV, an Ultra 4 truck, you could throw this thing in one of those big redneck mud trucks and you wouldn't damage it. And even if you're an idiot like me and occasionally you pressure wash your interior and fry everything but the rugged radio system, the rugged radios will survive. So don't do that anyways though, that's a bad idea. But anyways, this rugged radio system was a life changer for us, because when we were on that trail to SEMA, the whole group that we were with had these radios, and we were communicating so clearly even through the tunnels in Colorado and the Rocky Mountains and through Moab, through the night driving off-road in Vegas. I mean, we used them across the country and we didn't find a spot where they didn't work. So they really, really kicked butt. Another cool thing about these radios is that they've got a 5-pin connector on the back, so you can hook up intercom inside of your Jeep. You can hook up an auxiliary speaker, an external speaker like we do if you want to. A lot of capabilities, and I'm scratching the surface now. I've been studying this radio all morning, but there are a lot of different features that this thing has. The whole thing is the Ip67 certified, so waterproof from the microphone all the way up to the battery. Every single inline fuse is watertight connected. It's a pretty straightforward mounting system. We put our actual radio right behind the shifter on the inside of the Jeep because it's so small. Even though it has 6 times the power of a CB radio, it's about half the size of a normal CB radio. So it fit perfectly behind the shifter there. It's out of the way, but I can still see the perfect view of that LCD screen where I change the channels, change the volume, adjust the backlighting, adjust my hot mic settings, adjust squelch if I want to. Even though squelch is preset on this thing, I can do all of that. And with the JK mounting system, that dual band antenna just perfectly parallels the radio antenna that's already there. So once you hook all that up, It's a matter of just running your coax cable. Now the coax cable that we got was a little bit long for our setup, and ideally we would have cut it and crimped it and made it the perfect length, but we didn't have those tools. So I routed it like all the way around the Jeep to avoid coiling it, because if you coil a coax cable, you create a radio frequency choke point and you won't get nearly the range that you're supposed to get. So definitely don't do that if you ever run into that situation either. But the only problem with it is that all of my friends don't have it yet. So I need you guys to get it if I go wheeling with you. Otherwise, just expect to not talk to us, because we're gonna be on the dual band radio. It's such a night and day difference that I really don't use the CB unless the whole group that I'm with only has CB radios, because I much prefer the dual band. Anyways, if you guys liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment with all your questions, because I'm still studying the radio and I'm sure there are questions that I haven't answered in this video. Check us out on all of our other social media platforms as well. That's Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, our Patreon account, patreon.com/CrawlTV. We'll see you guys next time right here on Crawl TV. Peace!